Hey, well, good morning, everybody. It's Friday morning. It's me, Pastor Mike. I'm here to lift you up and give you an encouraging "Let's Go Live" for the day, a kick in the pants, an invite to live your best life you possibly can. And today we're double streaming. Yeah, we're on Facebook and on YouTube today. This is pretty awesome. We'll be able to do both at the same time. Kind of cool. Figuring things out. It's kind of awesome. I'm going to go to my comments here, see if I can see who's with me and who's hanging out. Excellent, excellent. And I can't see any comments. There we go. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Greg. Good morning. Whoever else is going to be popping in. I'm thankful that you're hanging out with me this morning. It's a good day. I've got some good news. I've got some tough news. But I've got a great conversation point. I think I can do something here. Hold on. Let's see if I can play that. Nope, can't do that. It won't let me do that. Anyway. So here's the thing. I am a guy that watches a fair amount of news. If you're watching news, probably more than you should be, please say I watch too much news in the comments. If you're watching too much news in the comments, just too much news, just put it in the comments. And I wanna blow your mind and maybe break your heart at the same time. Ooh, look at that! I can zoom in a little bit. That's kind of cool. I want to blow your mind and break your heart at the same time. We talked about this idea in church a few weeks ago. It's called the fundamental attribution error. This idea of a fundamental attribution error is the concept that when you make a mistake, or in this case, what you would believe your side makes a mistake, you attribute it to the best possible reasons. But when someone else makes a mistake, you say it references their character. It tells you who they are, how bad they are, what kind of evil individual they are. And we do this all the time. We do this all the time in our family. We do this all the time in our relationships. We have excuses for ourselves, but when other people make a mistake, we just say that they're that type of person. They're that kind of person. And what I've got to tell you is a hard thing to swallow, because most of us have swallowed this pill long time ago, and it's going to be a hard time hearing what I'm about to say. One of the things that I think that we are all a little bit guilty of, myself included, is that fundamental attribution error when it comes to everything that's going on in our world right now. See, we have things where we give people or sides a pass because they kind of agree with who we are, and so we give them that same kind of grace that we give ourselves. And then we have people or sides or issues where we don't give it a pass because, well, that seems to be the opposite. And so we paint them with that really negative stereotypical brush of this is the enemy, this is the bad guy, this is the person I'm working against, this is the evil that's out there in the world. And I am having conversations, and I'm having intentional conversations because I'm trying to live into that truth that says we can disagree politically and still love unconditionally. I'm trying to have fearless conversations about talking about things without saying, look, I'm this, you're that. Matter of fact, most of the times when I'm having these conversations, I'm trying to roll the conversation away from the political talking point to the personal. What do they want to see happen? What's the change that they want to see happen? What's the issue that they would like to see adjusted, right? So instead of talking about sides, you end up talking about a specific. And when you talk about a specific, then you can actually get somewhere. But here's the thing. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Linda. Whoever you're listening to, whoever you're watching, whoever you're paying attention to, whatever video clip you have in your arsenal of video clips, whatever meme you have, or whatever thing that's going on in your life right now that you think, oh, this tells the truth, right? You have to ask yourself, well, is this falling under a fundamental attribution error? Because we're attributing the truth to the thing that we see in that video clip, or the thing that talking head on the TV or on the cable news is telling you. We're attributing truth to that, and then painting the opposing side with all the negative character that we can possibly paint it with, and we paint them as the enemy or as evil. And what I have seen over and over and over and over again is that if you're looking for the truth, you're not going to find it in the news today. Right? You are not going to find it in the news today. And I'm sorry to tell you that. I mean, it breaks my heart to go that I can't turn on the news and trust what I'm being told or even what I'm being shown. Because if I show you a video clip and there's no context to it, and I add my own context to it, I give you the narration or the overview, I am right there changing the context of the video. And so what we've seen and what we keep seeing, whether it's from one side or the other, you have to remember that the narrative is being told to you, right? You're being given a narrative. You're literally walking into whoever edited that video, their fundamental attribution error, because whoever is making that news, whoever's creating that news, has something that they want you to walk away from. And just like I do here, there's a fundamental attribution error that I'm committing right now. I'm going to tell you that be careful of what media you're watching and how you're watching it, because they're biased, right? Remember, and now I have a bias. I have a bias that says that I don't trust the media very much anymore. I don't have much confidence in the left or on the right side of the media, because both of them bias what they're telling you. So so I'm like, well, Mike's right. I have to be right? I trust me, and I trust the people that don't trust the media. There's my fundamental attribution error. And maybe those folks like me are out there trying to sow discontent and distrust too. I can't tell you any more honestly than that. I'm not trying to sow discontent. I'm not trying to sow any of those things. I am simply saying, when you talk to someone that has viewed the news from the opposite angle, you get a completely different story with 100% conviction. Right? 100% conviction, a completely different story. Same news, different takeaway. And that tells me that the narratives that are being told to you, the narratives that are being told to me, are incomplete narratives. And so what I want to tell everybody to do is to slow everything down. If I could tell the news producers out there, I would say, slow the news down, guys. Slow the news down. There is a rush to put information out there, and sometimes the news that gets put out there is absolutely 100% false. The narrative is made up and created by whoever put it out there, and it is 100% incorrect. Recently, there was an event in San Clemente where the first information about this tragic event that happened in San Clemente was absolutely incorrect, 100% incorrect. All the details were completely wrong. Even named the person that lost their life in this story wrong. Right? And there was a narrative. There's a narrative in there that there's trying to do something, trying to make something happen. And that first narrative that got out there blew up. Lots and lots of people got out there and they heard it, but it wasn't true. So media, news, whoever's out there sharing posts, political posts of fast-breaking information, slow your roll down. Slow it down. Wait a little bit longer. You don't want to be the person that's committing a fundamental attribution error. You don't want to be a person that's sharing false facts or fake news or alternative. You don't want to be that person, because you're only stoking flames. You're only sometimes making a situation much worse. And I will tell you right now, I know I've done it, and I want to encourage you guys to step into the slow club with me as we slow down our response to some of the craziness that is going on in the world. And I think if you slow down, you get a lot more information before you say or do anything. If you slow down, you get a lot more information before you say or do anything. And your job, remember, your job isn't necessarily to respond to the news of the world. Your job is to respond to the brokenness in the world. And right now I see one of the most important things I see in our world that's broken is our news. And my job is to demonstrate God's love into that brokenness. And so I'm saying to anybody and everybody that is out there sharing news before it's been vetted, before it's been checked, before it's been slowed down, so you can really get all the details of a story. Because again, when the details of the full story of any of these events come out, they often don't match the instant narrative that came out right away. And if that instant narrative is wrong, which I've seen it be wrong over and over and over and over again, if that instant narrative is wrong, God, right now there are lives that are being lost because of a wrong instant narrative. Now, I'm going to flip this back to you and say, look, there are instant narratives that you tell about yourself, too, that are wrong. You jump to conclusions about yourself that are wrong. A lot of you guys are quick to beat yourself up. A lot of you are quick to torment yourself. A lot of you guys have this, we've talked about this internal dialogue, this internal script that tells you that you're worthless, you're this, you're that, you're all these historical things that you carried with you in your baggage of garbage, of non-truths about you that you've kept and held on to yourselves. You've got to let those go too. You've held on to those for too long. And so I want to invite you to just absolutely throw that away and join me as we slow down the news and step into this day with some good news. Step into this day with some hope. Step into this day with some promise, and recognize that, well, as I tell people, recognize that there are people that are making some money off of all this tragedy. There are people that are making money off of all this tragedy. And if you're making money off of something, you want to keep it going. I don't want to keep any of this tragedy going. The violence in our streets, the political unrest that we face, the uncertainty of everything that's going on. If we continue to buy into these instant narratives, these fundamental attribution errors, it's only going to get worse. And so I got to encourage you to slow down. Just slow it down. Take a moment and think through. Take a moment to think through what you're about to share on your social media, if you even share it. I have stopped sharing news on social media because I'm saying your social media is not a place to get news. Your social media is not a place to take in the truth, because it's not necessarily true. You can watch a video, and if it has a banner on the top and a banner on the bottom, there's your narrative. That's what they're telling you, right? That's what they want you to see or feel. And you watch the video through that context. We've got to stop. We've got to stop. And sadly, the news anchors that we have are doing the same thing. I see the same thing in our news anchors. There are very few places where you can go and turn to truth or turn for truth. The one thing I do know is that most of the truth comes out when you take it slow. There's more information. There's always more information. There's always, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story, right? And that's the news. And so I really wish our media would slow down. I wish we as a people would slow down and get the rest of the story, because there's always, always, always more to it. And let me make this clear. I'm not always right. Let me say it. I think if you think you're always right, you've got something wrong. And if you think the right is always right, you really got something wrong. And if you think the left is always right, well, the truth has already left you, right? You're not always right, and the left is not always right, and the right is not always wrong, and the left is not always wrong. There's a truth that lives somewhere in between. And the biased storytelling that is happening right now, whether it be from personal individuals on the social medias or on the major mainstream news, is literally killing people. It is absolutely killing people, because we are not taking the time to slow this thing down. Media operates right now with two goals in mind: to create fear and to create outrage, because they know that's going to generate views, it's going to generate likes. I'm not trying to create fear. I'm not trying to create outrage. Literally, all I'm trying to do is make sure people have the best day they possibly can. And for me today, I just have to say, in order for you to have a great day today, you've got to slow it down and take in the big, big picture. Today may be a great day, today may be an awful day, but there's a big underlying truth that covers both the good days and the bad days, and that is God loves you. God's love for you is always, always true. That may not make the worst day peanut butter and jelly and ice cream, but it does give you a foundation on which you can stand on. God's love for you is always true. You were created to pursue an authentic relationship with him. You were designed to be in a relationship with God. I do believe that if you're following your faith and you're having a deep and real faith, your faith is more than just emotions, and you are not led by your emotions. You are not led by your emotions. You experience your emotions, but you are not led or a slave to your emotions. And again, right now, media is trying to get people to feel fear and experience outrage. Feel fear and experience outrage, whether it's fear of the election, outrage over injustice, whatever it is, there's a goal in mind, right? There's a goal in mind because someone's making money off of it. Number two, you belong to Jesus and define yourself by what he says. I love my country. I love my country, but I don't belong to my country. I belong to Christ. And you belong to Christ too if you trust him and follow him. And so I want what's best as a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. I want what's best for all people. And lastly, I exist every day to demonstrate, and you exist every day to demonstrate God's love to a broken world. There's a lot of brokenness, so there needs to be a lot of demonstrating. And not a lot of demonstrating of hate or of rage or of things that continue to separate and divide people, but we need to start demonstrating the love of God, the unconditional love of God, the love of God that went to people that absolutely disagreed with the temple, the love of God that the temple absolutely disagreed with, the love of God that drove God out of heaven to come and rescue and redeem, all the way from heaven. That's a long round trip, team. That is a long round trip. But he came for you and he came for me. So to sum it all up, you got to get out there, guys. You're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to start demonstrating love more than you've ever demonstrated before. You're going to have to pay attention to everything that you're listening to and go, is that the full story? Is that the whole story? Is there more to that story? You're going to have to listen to it. Your story of faith today isn't finished, right? There's more to that story. And so get out there. Let's have the best and most amazing day you possibly can. If you're going to the beach, have a great day at the beach. If you're hanging home and reading a book, enjoy that book. If you're going to go to church with me this Sunday, we've got 3 services. We got a service at 9 and at 10:30 online. It's going to be awesome. We're doing week 2 of The Point of It All as we step into the final weeks, the final moments of Jesus' life. And we have a live service, absolutely 100% live service with choir and praise band, socially distanced and accommodated at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. And we would love to see you and join us at church at Oceanside First Presbyterian Church. You can find us at www.oceansidepress.org, and love to see you there. We got room for you. So do me a favor, if you've been a fan or friend of Let's Go Live, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit that like button, hit those heart buttons, hit that share button, and if you want to get notified every time I have a new video, please subscribe and hit that little bell. And so I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day. And remember, guys, it's time to go. Let's go. I got 2 buttons to push.